Protect. I am Yaman Osiris, the one and only undisputed God of law. We are Deception Stoppers, America's only 4D education service. Thank God I'm not a lawyer. Thank God this is not a law firm. We don't advocate that you don't support your human offspring. We simply advocate that you made them in private, take care of them in private. And today I'm going to talk to you and show you how to prove bribery. Okay. Now, as usual, I'm coming from the state of New Jersey, but this applies to any other state that you're in. Okay. Now, under New Jersey law, okay, lawmakers introduced Bill S3716. And to ensure the state's bribery law isn't narrowed by a federal ruling. Okay, you have to read that in the U.S. Supreme Court ruling, making it clear that state bribery laws apply even for benefits received after the fact, which means you take one before, you take one after, that's bribery. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to come from New Jersey. And again, gentlemen, every state, these codes of federal regulations operate in every single state. Okay. Now, before we go here, I'm going to read line C. The OCSS shall oversee the delivery of what? Child support services involving. Now, pay attention, number 3. The Judiciary Administrative Office of the Court, okay, the Family Division, and the Probation Division, and the Finance Division, County Prosecutor, County Sheriff's Office, State Attorney General. All right, these are all under number 7, contracted service providers of the 4D program. What is the 4D program? The 4D program is a partnership, an association of 2 or more business as co-owners of a business for profit. Okay. Now, going back to the OCSS is deemed to be the 4D agency that operates in the state. Okay. Now, we're going to go to 45 C.F.R. 302.12. A lone, detached, and disconnected organizational unit in the state. The 4D plan shall provide for the establishment or designation, which means it came after the Constitution, of an alone, detached, and disconnected organizational unit to administer the 4D plan, such as referred to as the 4D agency. Okay. The OCSS that operates in New Jersey is merely the 4D agency. What is the 4D agency? 301.1. The alone, detached, and disconnected organizational unit in the state. It is not a state agency. All right, gentlemen and ladies, it is not a state agency. Now, go down to 1. The 4D agency may be what? Section I. Located in any other agency of the state. Where do they put the 4D agency in every state? Right here. Federal Manual Child Support. Most states have placed the 4D agency within a social or human services umbrella agency. So they also use the Attorney General's Office, Department of Revenue, Department of Social Economic Services, whatever. Okay. Whatever agency offers for welfare services, that's where they're put. What is an umbrella agency? An umbrella agency is a company that functions as the legal employer for what? Contractors or temporary workers. Contractors, gentlemen, are in fact temporary workers. Okay. Now we're going to go back here. Number 2, the alone, detached, and disconnected organizational unit shall be responsible and accountable for the operation of what? The 4D program. What is the 4D program? An association of 2 or more persons as co-owners of a business for profit. It is a partnership. Okay. Now, let's go back. So the OCSS that operates in New Jersey, all right, is the alone, detached, and disconnected organizational unit that operates in the state. And it is the instrumentality of the federal government because it submits a plan to the federal government, explaining to the federal government how the 4D business is going to run in that state. All right, they'll comply with Title 4D of the Social Security Act, non-positive law title, and other issuances of the Secretary of the United States Department of Human Services, which right now I believe is some moot named Kennedy. All right, so this federal agency that operates in the state, OCSS, it oversees the delivery of 4D services involving, now oversees means what? It means supervising. First two we're going to skip. Number 3, judiciary, administrative office of the courts. Again, family division. And more importantly, look, the probation division. I want you to remember that. Probation division. All right. Prosecutor, county sheriff, state attorney general. These are all contracted service providers of the 4D program. Okay. What New Jersey did, and all states do, my bad, I'm supposed to be back on this. Contracted service providers, like I said, are courts. Let's go here. The 4D plan, 302.34, requires that the 4D unit will enter into contracts for cooperative arrangements under federal terms with appropriate what? Courts, law enforcement officials, such as district attorneys, attorneys generals, and similar public attorneys, and prosecutors and correction officials. And what these people are doing is, where's it at? They reimburse all those contractors up top for their assistance in carrying out the program. What is the program? An association of 2 or more persons is co-owners of a business for profit. Okay. Now, we're going to confirm this. I'm going to go to Ohio. Okay. I love Ohio's contract. You know, and guess what? We've got it downloaded. It's, if they take it offline, it doesn't matter because we still have it. Okay. This rule, the supplemental rules, describes the process by which the unit enters into a contract with a governmental entity. Okay. For the unit to receive federal financial reimbursement to offset the cost of the purchase of service under a 4D what? Contract, 45 C.F.R. 302.34. All right, let's go to number 3. Contractor, right? A governmental entity with whom the unit enters into a contract. Governmental entity includes the following entities that have gone into a contract with the unit. First one there is what? A court. All right, this includes the clerk of the court, the judge, all right, prosecutor, sheriff, treasurer's office, any other public or governmental official. Now, problem, what is a 4D contract? We already know that they're getting paid for it, right? Okay, oh, sorry. 4D contract means a mutually binding legal relationship obligating the governmental entity, the courts, sheriff's department, to provide 4D services in 4D cases or perform other administrative duties of the 4D unit that pertain to 4D cases in return for payment by the 4D unit. Let's go down to line 13. The 4D unit. We already proved that it's not a governmental unit. Let's step on its poo-poo right now. All right. Private entity means what? A company, organization, or individual that does not meet the definition of a governmental entity. That's line 4. All right. What is Title 4D? The alone, detached, and disconnected what? Organizational unit in the state. Let's go back to line 4. Do you see, under these definitions, governmental entity includes the following entities? Do you see the 4D agency in here? No, you do not. This is their acronym for the 4D unit. You don't see that acronym in here, A through G. It's not there, which means that these judges, all these people here, are taking bribes from a private entity that doesn't even meet the definition of a governmental unit. That's illegal, gentlemen. That's called bribery. Okay. The 4D agency, let's do some more. Check it out. Don't take my word for it. Federal Manual, page 47, right here in the red. However, every federal agency is responsible for responding. Here's where they trick you, to a state 4D program as if the federal agency were a private business. Number one, there is no such thing as a state 4D program. It is the federal 4D program. It operates in the state. And no matter where you see those words, it says the state, the state. It has nothing to do with the state. They do that to make it look legitimate. All right, remember, they're in an umbrella agency. Now, check this out. Let's go here. Now, remember, all right, under their contract, who are the contractors? One of the major contractors here is the probation, the probation child support, probation division child support, right? They are contractors. They are contracted service providers. Okay. Now, let's go to the New Jersey manual. Generating warrants. Presently, warrants are produced by who? The probation's automated warrant generator program. Okay. It doesn't, these warrants don't come from a law officer or a peace officer or a detective or FBI coming to a judge saying, hey, listen, judge, we have probable cause for this warrant and here's why. No, this warrant comes from what? Oh, well, shit. All we got to do is have the judge sign this, or our contractor sign this, and then our other contracted agent called the sheriff can go get his ass. Okay? And then what we'll do is we'll pay him for it. That's a bribe. Okay? Warrants don't come from the court. They come from the probation division child support. All right, now, down here in the green, my favorite. The judiciary has enlisted the cooperation of county sheriffs and local municipalities, that means cops, to use this form consistently for arrest on child support warrants. Here's the bribe. Accurate reporting of child support warrant collections benefits the 4D child support program. The 4D program, the child support program, is defined as what? An association of two or more persons as co-owners of a business for profit. All right. And they shall benefit as well as the sheriff's 4D contracts. So under New Jersey Constitution, section Article 1, Section 2A, it says government was created to be a benefit, security, and protection of the Article 1 by nature equal and free and independent men. It was not created so that the sheriff could benefit from falsely arresting you, right? And a business could not ultimately be could be unjustly enriched by oppressing you. All right. Remember, that's officious intermeddling because Title 4D child support is a service. This service is offered to customers, and that customer is required to pay a $35 application fee or a $35 annual user fee, probably both, right? And that customer, upon application, must, under penalty of perjury, agree to cooperate with this association of two or more persons as co-owners of a business for profit. Let's take a look at the warrant. Okay. Now, notice, and just so you know, gentlemen, this is called what's known as coercive incarceration. Okay. It's not punitive. All right. All it's designed to do is coerce whoever is the sucker or the dumbass that gets caught by these clowns who aren't even officers or agents or employees of the state. That's how you get out of jail. Okay. There is no bail or bond in child support. They are called purge payments. Okay. You don't get that back like you would a bail or a bond. Okay. So what happens is, who puts this coercive incarceration order out? The probation division. What they do is they look at, so Johnny Donut ain't paid. All right, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and, under this contract, we're going to go ahead and have this contractor judge sign this and make it look legal. And then we'll have to put court stamp on there and all that shit. Nobody will notice. All right, and that's where you get jacked. So that's what that warrant is for, coercive incarceration. So now the judiciary has enlisted the cooperation of the county sheriff. That's false. It's not the judiciary who has enlisted the help of the county sheriff. Oh, lost my screen. All right. It is the unit, the alone, detached, and disconnected organizational unit that has asked for the sheriff's help. Okay. Now, what does the sheriff do? Let's go back to Ohio. I love Ohio. Oh my gosh, man. This is just totally right because they just put it all out there. We're going to go to types of contracts right here. Right. I want to scroll out slow. Now check this out. Number 2, if a court or law enforcement official declines or fails to enter into a contract with the 4D unit, the unit will document any intent. So this means, look, they're not obligated to go into that contract. If they decline, right? So you can decline it or fail. All right, you decline it when they offer it to you. I don't know about fail. It's the same thing. All right. When they don't want to enter, that's not going to happen because that's how they get their money. The types of contracts they go into, right here. They go into, you already know the contractors, the prosecutors, all right, to provide legal services. A contract with the prosecutor to provide service of process, including arrest warrants, right? My favorite. A contract with the sheriff to provide service of process, including warrants for arrest. Right? Let's see, contract with the clerk of the court, the county clerk of the court, and all these people in the county, by the way. All right, to provide the duties of clerk of court initiated by the 4D agency. How can you provide the duties of a clerk of court initiated by a private business? Remember, Title 4D, the 4D agency, the unit, does not meet the definition of a governmental entity. So how can that clerk of court be remotely involved? You might as well go down there to Walmart and open up a booth and do notary. Okay? So now, right here, the court will certify that all court hearings, that means any warrants, all right, any administrative shit that they do, are conducted in compliance with 4D of the Social Security Act, 42 U.S.C. 651. Title 42 of the United States Code was never enacted into positive law, which means they're operating under color of law. And because they are operating under a contract, okay, we're going to go to the actual contract. And this is Ohio. Just take the word Ohio out and put in New Jersey, whatever state you want. Look, 4D contract. That's the only thing you need to pay attention to. Okay? Look, pursuant to Title 4D of the Social Security Act, 302 and 303. Remember, 302.34, 302.12, 302. All of them. Okay? The 4D agency and the contractor, again, certify that all contract activities shall be performed in compliance with Title 4D of the Social Security Act and its 45 C.F.R. regulations. Color of law, color of authority. All right. Contract. Judges and all these public officials swear to uphold the Constitution to this state, the United States. They don't swear to go into a contract. Now, check it out. Unit of service, subject to the terms and conditions. All right. The 4D contract, the unit agrees to purchase, and the contractor agrees to provide the following units of service for 4D cases. So in other words, they're getting paid per hour. So they agree to purchase and they agree to provide. That's bribery for making it go their way. Okay. But my best and loveliest, most erotic thing about these 4D contracts, and this applies to every person who's under this contract, all right, independent capacity for the contractor. Who's the contractor? The court, the judge, the prosecutor, the clerk of the court, the sheriff, the cops, the state attorney general. Those are contractors. And what's it say? It says the contractor, those people I just read off, and its agents, employees, and subcontractors, probation division, will act in performance of this 4D contract, not in performance of the Constitution, of this 4D contract in an independent capacity and not as officers, employees, or agents of the state or the 4D unit. Now, it doesn't say the state 4D unit. It says agents of the state or, not the same, okay? The state. And this thing right here, this is not a state agency, gentlemen. It is all contractual. The wool is being pulled over and you're not paying any attention to it. All right. All this, oh, I'm going to go in here and challenge jurisdiction and this and UCC that. Just stick to the basics. Okay? You don't see nothing about UCC and title law and things of that nature under Title 4D. Work with what you have. When you start adding all this extra stuff, and all knowing all that stuff is great, gentlemen, but it's not going to help you here. Huh? No disrespect, but you coming in here and acting like you're a secured party creditor, it's not going to help you here. All right? That is not how it's going to work. No downplay on the secured party creditor. It is all that. But if you did not do that before you got suckered in, guess what? You might as well hang it up. You can't use it. All right? No QSIP numbers, none of that. Now, check this out. And something else before I close this out. Okay? Now, under Title 4D, who do they go after? They go after what? The non-custodial pay rent. In New Jersey, they call it the obligor. Okay? Or, more importantly, there it is. Non-custodial pay rent. Alleged fathers. Read what a father is. The definition of a father is somebody who's under a contract. Okay? So, as far as the 10th Amendment, we shall not abridge any contracts. Well, if you never knew that you were going into a contract, then they're not abridging a contract. They're just terminating it because it's void. Now, we're going to go down to applicants. Oh, I'm on the wrong page. I'm sorry. Okay. I want to go down to the actual warrants. All right. Rapid notice to probation of obligor's arrest. Remember, that's the person who put out the warrant. And they put it out under a contract. They got paid for it. And then they gave it to a contractor judge to sign who also got paid for it. Okay. Now, check this out. The actual warrant is here. And I want to show you to you. I want to show this to you. Wait. And I love this. So these are forms. Look, warrant failure to appear and warrant failure to pay. All right. And I'm going to show you some serious distinctions here. All right. This is New Jersey's sample warrant. And if you look hard enough, gentlemen, I'm quite sure that you could find them in your state. Okay. So this is a warrant, failure to appear warrant. And it says here, Superior Court of New Jersey, Chancery Division, Family Part. All right. This warrant did not come from here. It didn't come from the court. It came from the probation's warrant generator. Remember I showed you that? Okay. Chancery Division. Chancery means equity. Child support has nothing. It's equity, but in the sense of it's fraudulent equity. Family Part. Okay. Now, it says here, look, the state of New Jersey. State of New Jersey ain't got nothing to do with this. This is coming from the 4D unit, the alone, detached, and disconnected organizational unit. Okay? That's who the probation department is serving here. And that's who the Superior Court Family Part Division is serving here, not the state of New Jersey. Now, look, so they're bribing these people. They're bribing these people. All right, it has nothing to do with these people. Now, here you go. It says, to the sheriff of the county. Okay. Remember, Title 4D arrests benefits what? The sheriff's 4D contract and the 4D program. It does not benefit security and protection of the people. All right. Who are they looking for? John Jones, all caps name. John Jones is the subject. Who is the subject? Non-custodial pay rent. Okay. Now, All caps name, John Jones, N.J.A.C. All right? Identification, social security number. Then they add all this to put your commercial energy on top of it. So in other words, this human being right here is what represents this property. And remember, they want them to arrest you. Arrest means what? Seizure of property. Right? Race, Caucasoid. All right. Why can't they just put human? You want to know why? Because this ain't human. It's property. All right. Then the other one, failure to appear after an order. Order of who? If the courts, if these contractors are not officers, agents, or employees of the court, how can they have where's the authority to order issue a warrant? Or the authority to tell you that you got to come somewhere? And you notice it says, look, right in the middle, seal of the Superior Court, Contractor. That's not a docket number. All right, right here, CS. All right, under New Jersey, that's child support, which makes this the what? Customer identification or customer membership number, identification number. Now, here's what I love. Look, so arrest, all right, seizure of property, and confine this person, okay, John Donut. In other words, if you run up on him and he can't pay what you're asking him, bring his ass to jail. Okay? Look, this is a release payment. It is not bail. All right? Warrant to arrest Jackie Doe. What is the probable cause to arrest Jackie Doe? Well, you failed. The court gave you an order. What court? You're under a contract. Under that contract, you're not an officer, agent, or employee of the state or the 4D crime family. What order are you talking about? Because if you're saying you're a judge, then you might as well step down now and get these handcuffs, because that means you're taking a bribe. Okay? And again, look, there it is. You don't spell your name in all capital letters, gentlemen. Look, all caps name, N.J.A.C, creature of the law, an artificial person or being as contrasts with a human being. All right, subject. All right, under the Constitution, it says all men are by nature equally free and independent. Free means not subject to the legal constraint, having the power to follow the dictates of your own free will. Independent means not subject to restriction, modification, or limitation from any given outside source. All right, that's as men, but under Title 4D, they're not looking for men. They're looking for property. That's why they identify this Jackie Doe N.J.A.C non-custodial pay rent by the all caps name. I'm the elemental size, gentlemen. Okay, don't overthink it. Take their information and use it against them. And I can guarantee you, brethren, no matter what, if you take their information and use it against them. All right, now I want you to realize something. Do not invite yourself, accept an invitation to go to one of these private meetings, okay, with these business profit and their contractors, and start splitting off everything you learn, because they're going to tell you, oh, we ain't here for that. That's not how you do it. You have to attack the 4D crime boss, because remember, the 4D crime boss is the one who runs everything. Right? Look, remember that. The OCSS, the unit, shall oversee the delivery of 4D services. Who runs the unit? In New Jersey, it's Patricia Rich. Right? The unit is not automated or automated. It's not AI. It's ran by a human being. This hussy. Ruth Ann, or Scott, not Ruth Ann, Patricia Rich. You'll see her pictures on the thumbnail. That's who, she's the boss. She's the one who has authority to cancel all this, because guess what? All these contractors, these judges, probation division, county sheriffs, and all them, they answer to her. Check it out. Look, check it out. Right here, number 3. If the 4D agency delegates any of the functions of the 4D program to any other state or local agency or official with whom a what? Contract described in 302.34 has been entered into, or purchased services from any person, all right, The 4D agency shall have responsibility for securing compliance with the requirements of the 4D plan by such agency officials, which means, okay, all those contractual agents, the courts and all them, they answer to her. Don't forget, under the 45 C.F.R. 303.11 case closure criteria, all right, let me pull it up for you. I'm going to end this because I got all excited here. Make me feel all funny inside. I'm going to go to 303.11. I'll close it out with this. Case closure the video. All right, 45 C.F.R. 303.11 case closure criteria. The 4D agency, the unit, shall establish a system for case closure. Who's the 4D agency? The 4D crime boss. That's who runs it. All right, that's A. B, the 4D agency may elect to close a case if the case meets at least one of the following criteria and supporting documentation for the case closure decision is maintained in the case record. All right, that's easy. Okay, if you go down to section 12, all right, now one of my biggest pet peeves is what? Officious intermeddling. Did you apply for Title 4D services? No, you did not. Did you apply for welfare services? No, you did not. So this is what their statute, their regulations say. The 4D boss, the crime boss, all right, can terminate this case, all right, if the non-4A, which is welfare recipient of services, requests closure of the case and there is no assignment to the state or medical support. Now, did you apply for welfare? No. So you're a non-4A recipient, aren't you? Yes, you are. The cool part about this is because, number one, the 4D crime boss can do it. It does not have to be filed with the clerk of the court. It does not have to await a signature of a judge. All right, gentlemen, stop going north when you should be going west. Okay, take their information, use it against them. I'm the Osiris. I hope you learned something here today. All right, we have phone consultations available. That includes the glossary and the federal manual, and we have classes available, which include the entire 4D library and a weapon to terminate child support that they'll refuse, so you can go ahead and turn around and sue. All right, emails on the screen. All right, have any questions, bang the email. All right, but check us out, like and subscribe, and let everybody know we out here teaching this good stuff. Hotel.